Welcome to Miracle Network's Wednesday meditation. I'm so glad we're all here together. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button below to receive updates and notifications. Today we're joined by Paludan, who will lead us in meditation, and then we'll have 20 minutes of silence. After that, we're going to open it up for sharing, and we end at 10:45. Over to you, Kissa.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. So leading us into this meditation, I would like to talk a little bit about lesson 26. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability, and say a little bit about strength and vulnerability and invulnerability. Years ago, I wrote a book called Courage to Be You, and I was very nerdy trying to understand what is this thing, vulnerability and invulnerability and inner strength. And I think the course and lesson 26 is very, very helpful. So leading us into this meditation, I wanted to say that what happens, that the only problem we really have is the disconnect, the separation from the divine, from God, from love within. And in this separation, we create survival strategies. Our ego creates survival strategies and conditions for our lovability. And in this forgetting our divine, holy identity, we make up conditions for ourselves in the world. Like I have to be kind or loving or helpful or smart or strong, and all of these capacities to have a place in the world, to be loved. And then thought systems will attack us if we go outside of the comfort zone that we create for ourselves. So it's like we create this comfort zone. When I'm in this comfort zone and I try hard to be whatever I think I have to be loved in the world, I feel sort of okay. But as soon as I step outside of the comfort zone, my thoughts will attack me. And the attack feels like fear, guilt, shame, and it's so uncomfortable that usually we'll step right back into our comfort zone and try harder with the ego to be what we actually lost contact to. So our inherent nature is already loving, is already good, is already wise, is already guided. But as we forget that, the ego sort of takes over the lead and tries to get us back to that point, but gets us further and further away. So the more I try to be strong with my small self, the weaker I am making myself. And sometimes we need big crises or other ways of surrendering to the divine, or actually giving up the ego's project, to sense the invulnerability and the strength of the divine underneath the whole psychological layer. The last 15 months of my life has been very vulnerable, very hard months, and I've had to give up trying to be strong on my own. And I've found that in the giving up, I found access to the divine strength within me in a completely new and different way. And in the meeting with the attack thoughts and realizing that it is me attacking myself, and even when it seems like the outside world is attacking me, I've projected those attack thoughts out to the world. But as we become present to those thoughts, the presence that we become, well, the presence in itself is the love of the big self. And as we do that, we expand the loving capacity within to hold space really for our psychology, and sink deeper and deeper into our divine presence and love and the holy strength. Yeah. So underneath what seems, the ego seems so fragile and vulnerable, but underneath that there is a heart that can never break, and a strength, that cannot be shaken. And so I think to lead us into the meditation, I would like to read just a little piece from lesson 165. And it's just, it will take under a minute. But if you like, you can already sort of soften your gaze or close your eyes if you want, and allow yourself to maybe sink a little deeper into the seat or deepen your breathing. And I'll just read this little piece and we'll go into stillness together. So, there is a light in you which cannot die, whose presence is so holy that the world is sanctified because of you. All things that live bring gifts to you and offer them in gratitude and gladness at your feet. The scent of flowers is their gift to you. The waves bow down before you, and the trees extend their arms to shield you from the heat and lay their leaves before you on the ground that you may walk in softness, while the wind sings to a whisper around your holy head.
Hvad fanden betyder mu for sat?
open your eyes and come back into the room. We have 18 minutes left for sharing your questions and reflections. If you'd like to share, use the electronic hand at the bottom of the screen, and I'll invite you to take yourself off mute. Teresa, take yourself off mute.
I'm quicker with my real hand than the,
That's fine.
the kisser. Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful, I think that must be, I'd forgotten how beautiful that reading was, that lesson was. So thank you. And I loved the idea of vulnerability and divine strength and finding that. So thank you for that. Somebody unmuted themselves, or it was a mistake or whatever, and I got such a shock. But everything was fine, and it is so lovely to see all you lovely people. So thank you for being here. I finished. Thank you.
Who'd like to share? You can raise your hand if you like. Linda, take yourself off mute.
Yes, that was so perfect, because that is exactly where I am. Everything you said this morning, I know it's been given to me, because I haven't got anything else to say except that's where I am now. This vulnerability, strength, showing me this and then trying to get it right. And I'll be listening to this again, because it was perfect. I haven't got anything else to say because I'm still overwhelmed by it all. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Lottie, take yourself off mute.
Yes, also thank you. Perfect for me too. There was a lovely feeling in the reading from lesson 26 of being so loved and special, and realizing that it wasn't just for me, everybody's equally special. And that wonderful sense of here we all are, receiving all of that. And the interruption was beautiful, because the comments that came afterwards, couldn't understand a word, but it didn't matter because we were all one and it was all part of the same oneness. Yeah, thank you.
Evelyn, take yourself off mute.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kate. That was just beautiful reading. Was it 126? Was it from 126, the lesson, that last one?
156.
Oh, 156. Thank you very much. That was just so beautiful to be reminded. And when we hear, which I did actually hear a little bit of news before I came on, and it's just so beautiful to remember that that lesson is for everybody, absolutely everybody, no matter what it appears, because it's the appearance, the agitation, the going on in the world. And it's just so beautiful that is our truth, everybody's truth. and the rest is just little shadows passing through, but really of no consequence. And just to focus on that great love that never goes out, never dims the lights. I just feel the light is spreading. It's just spreading everywhere, everywhere. So, and I'm so grateful to the course and to the Miracle Network that spreads that light just absolutely everywhere. So there's just no words to say thank you, and to all of you, and to everyone. Bless everyone. Thank you.
Reiki, would you like to comment?
Yeah, thank you. I like to comment that the interruption that was on, maybe it's good for you that you didn't understand Danish, a lot of you, because it was very swearing and very desperate, but it actually meant something good for me because it sounded like someone in reaction, and still I managed to, in my meditation, to meditate from the heart, and somehow for me it just meditated on that part of me as well inside me that is also frustrated sometimes, and so that was yeah, that was just another thing where I thought that was maybe meant to be because that's what I needed to meditate on. I don't know. And then it's first time I'm here. That's just like practical stuff. I didn't know it's a part of a program, but I can talk with you, Kisa, about that in Danish afterwards. Thank you very much for a beautiful experience.
Who would like to share?
Gina has her hand up.
Sandy, and then Gina.
Thank you, Kissa. That was so lovely. I love it when I get reminded of our holiness, because we get so caught up in everyday stuff, we forget that, don't we? And how peaceful and expansive that is to remember that we're all holy and that connectedness. And I really felt that in the meditation this morning. I really needed that. And I just think it's such a beautiful lesson, isn't it? It's one of those that I always feel is a bit of a love letter from Jesus to us, to remind us, gently nudge us back to remembering who we all are. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gina, would you like to share?
Thank you, Kissa. That was beautiful. And thank you, the lady that just spoke, the Danish lady that pointed out that was some sort of a I don't know what you would call it, one of the people that come in and bomb these sorts of spiritual things, when she said that it was a Danish thing. But what for me on a practical level would happen was, you said that beautiful passage, and which is really just like an elixir. I mean, that's how I felt. It was just, you're just sitting there and you're in it. And then that interruption came, and I suspected it was something that was not, let's say, for the highest good. But what I went to immediately was today's lesson, which is let grievances be, let miracles replace all grievances. And when I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe this is what's happened, because I got so angry with that person who did that. And then that completely restored it. So I got sort of two things on that. So thank you.
Who would like to share? Jim, take yourself off mute.
Yes, thank you, Dan, and thank you, everybody. Yes, the matter of vulnerability is something that affects me as well as I get older. And what I've noticed is that in my earlier years, when I felt invulnerable, I felt strong and able to do anything. It was all ego, really, mostly ego. And of course, what I recognize as I get older and I get less able is that as I get weaker physically and do require help at times, that weakens the ego. So in weakening the ego, I become stronger. And it was good to be reminded of that wonderful lesson. And thank you everybody for joining us today. These are held every week, and you're welcome to join us anytime. Thanks again.
Kissa.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just wanted to say how easily we allow outside things to have the power over our inner state, like a little disruption, like the one we experienced today, and how with lots of things we place outside of ourselves and give them responsibility for how we feel inside. And what a good reminder that was to know that there is a piece inside of me that cannot be disrupted by any interruption. But yeah, and it's just, I'm so glad to be here, and so glad that you all joined from different places in the world, and to see familiar faces as well from Denmark. I'm very grateful.
Who would like to share? And Mette.
Hey, I just want to say thank you for your hospitality to be able to be here with you guys. I'm lucky to be a member of Kissa's Soul Talk Circle, and that will be this little group meeting up every Monday. And it's really, really important for me. And I always feel really, really, I would say blessed to be a member of that group. And then suddenly being invited here with you guys, it really touches my heart. I'm really thankful. And thank you, Kissa, for always facilitating these beautiful, beautiful words, really resonating in my heart. Yeah.
Thank you.
Norman, take yourself off mute.
Yes, thank you very much. I got the impression after a while, because there was only the one interruption during meditation here, but I was interrupted a couple of times in between. It just reminded me of what life's about. There's always going to be interruptions, but at the end of the day, all there is God's love. He's always there, and we can get all the interruptions we want, but we can always fall back on God. And no matter what we do or how we're interrupted, He hasn't changed, just changeless love. So thank you very much for all those interruptions.
Who would like to share?
I just wanted to say, Kissa, that how beautiful it is when we gather like this. The peace and tranquility I'm feeling from joining with everybody today. It's just such a beautiful thing to do. As one of your ladies, Anne was saying, it's this complete reset for me for the week. And I've enjoyed looking at everybody's faces and just feeling that love and that connection. So it's really special that we can all do this together. So thank you.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
Who would like to share? Kissa, you don't have to raise your hand, Kissa. You're the one leading us. Yes.
Right. Well, I wanted to share that there is an American author called Brené Brown. Some of you might know her. She made this research into what is it that makes very strong connections between people, strong relationships. And she found that the one main thing is vulnerability, the ability to be whole human beings together. But that was interesting. That is sort of our humanness, and yeah, being able to be with that together is what creates this deep connection. And I find the how we remind ourselves and each other of the divine strength underneath the vulnerability, when we hold space for each other's vulnerability or our own vulnerability. We are reminded also that there is something holding that. There is something inside holding space for the vulnerability. Otherwise, we wouldn't allow it, if that makes sense.
Ayu, take yourself off mute.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. The thought came to me, including in vulnerability. I thought I would like to thank and appreciate any forgiveness opportunity, rather than cursing myself that I'm not doing very good. I'm not a good course student. Rather than doing that, I would like to, I'm willing to take that as opportunity to undoing and using like a catapult, like Ken Wapnick used to do, using that as a core to flip over, to go back to where we really belong to. So maybe I can a little bit more excited about this forgiveness opportunity. Maybe I can look for it, rather than fighting always sort of tense and negative thought about any negative events or the world call. And just nice warm feeling came now. And it's so lovely to see you all, the knowing all these people doing this together. I'm not the only one, the crazy one, crazy course student, but everybody doing this, and that's very encouraging. So thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we've come to the end of our time together. Kissa, thank you for leading us in meditation. That was wonderful. And take yourself off mute and show your appreciation to Kissa.
Thank you, Kissa.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.